What is going on, everybody? It is Luke Beller, and now we only have 2 days till the Packers face off against the Buccaneers in the NFC Championship. And so I thought, with it only being 2 days away, we would sort of break down my 3 keys that I think the Packers, some things the Packers need to do to beat this Buccaneers team. But first off, right before getting to today's video, right now 951 of you have your notifications turned on, which is awesome. But let's see if we can get to 1,000. That means only 49 of you guys need to turn those notifications on. So if you've yet to do that, you'll get videos sent right to your phone, news analysis right when I post them. So if you guys want to do that, that would be awesome. So the first thing I think the Packers need to do in this game is protect our boy Aaron Rodgers. Somewhere, that's Brett Favre, but he's somewhere over here on my wall. But if we take a look back at that Week 6 game versus the Buccaneers, one of the biggest problems this Packers offense faced was the fact that the Buccaneers defense was getting to Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, we don't want that to happen. We want to keep Aaron Rodgers clean. We don't want him to get hurt. We want to allow him to have a clean pocket when he makes his throws. And in that game, the Buccaneers pressured him 21 times, so 21 pressures against Aaron Rodgers in that game. And 2 guys who really struggled in that game, Billy Turner had his worst game of the season. He allowed 6 pressures in that game. But since that game versus the Buccaneers, he has never allowed more than 3 pressures since that time. He only allowed 1 pressure last week versus this Rams team. And so obviously he had trouble in that one, but he's had a lot more time to develop in this Packers offense. He was playing right tackle in that game. Now with Bakhtiari down, obviously he's playing at the left tackle position. But I just think this Packers line has had so much time to grow together this entire season, and I honestly don't expect the Bucs to be able to bring as much pressure as they did last time. Obviously, they are a great defense, so you never know, when they can get to the quarterback, but I really do think this Packers offensive line is going to show up a lot more than they did in that Week 6 game. And then another guy who also struggled on the line in that Week 6 game was Elton Jenkins. He allowed 4 pressures in that game. And in that game, he allowed 1 sack and 2 hits, and he has not allowed a sack or a hit since that game. So obviously this line is playing a lot better than they did in that game, and obviously that sort of led to 2 of Aaron Rodgers' interceptions on back-to-back drives, and obviously when Rodgers is throwing picks, it's a lot harder for this Packers team to win, but I really expect Rodgers to have a great game in this one. Obviously, it always starts up front with the offensive line. Now, the number 2 thing, number dos, I think it's important for the Packers to establish the run. As we saw in Week 6, when we faced the Buccaneers, we really had trouble getting the running game going. Only ran the ball for 94 yards in that one. Aaron Jones probably had the worst game of his season. Only had 15 yards on 10 carries. And last week we saw just, how good this Packers running attack can be against one of the best run defenses in the NFL in the Rams. Obviously, the Buccaneers are a much better run defense than the Los Angeles Rams, and they might also have Vita Vea coming back this week. And I was reading this article by Steven Ruiz over at For the Win, and he was sort of breaking down this Week 6 game and sort of talking about just how good their inside linebackers played in this one. Levante David and Devin White, 2 great inside linebackers, and in that game, they combined for 18 tackles and 5.5 tackles for loss. And one of the biggest problems in that game is that those guys just didn't really get blocked by this offensive line. We had trouble stopping them. And anytime the Packers would run the ball to the outside, those guys would just get there super quickly. And we just never were really able to get this running game going. And so I think this week, if we can sort of get this running game going, keep this Bucs defense honest, not allow them to, just solely focus on, stopping the pass. If we can sort of commit to the run, allow them to, sort of have to commit to that. It'll allow plays like we saw last week with Allen Lazard breaking free for that touchdown pass on the play action, because obviously, running the ball sets up those play action passes. Maybe potentially we get, some Aaron Rodgers dimes to Marcus Valdes-Scantling. That would be great to see in this game, and it all starts with establishing the running game. And then the last thing, number 3 for this game, it's sort of an obvious one, but, it's still obvious. We got to talk about it, and that's winning the turnover battle. If we take a look at both these teams, the Packers are 10-0 when winning the turnover battle this year, and the Buccaneers are 8-0 when winning the turnover battle this year. So obviously it seems that whoever wins this turnover battle will likely win this game. Partly, both offenses, very high-powered offenses. The Bucs have been playing great with Tom Brady as well as Leonard Fournette. And so, if a team gets another possession, another, opportunity to come down and score the ball, obviously, that's going to be very crucial. We saw it last week with the Saints giving the ball to the Buccaneers 3 extra times, and the Buccaneers scored a lot more times off of those turnovers. So obviously, we got to keep the ball. Let's just not give it to the Buccaneers. Let's see if we can just keep it to ourselves this game. I think that would be a good idea. Obviously, that's probably what the Packers try to do every single week, but hopefully it works out this time. I believe it will work out this time. I've got lots of faith in this Packers team. Those are the 3 things I wanted to break down today. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you like it down below. It really helps push the video out to more people. But now we're only 2 days away from this game. I can't wait. I'm pumped. I'm excited. But that is all for today, and I'll see you guys on the next one.